I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. Firmware 22 for the Axe-FX 3 has just been released, and I wanted to share this preset that I've put together with 8 of my favorite amp and Dyna-Cab combinations in here. The Dyna-Cabs are the headline feature of Firmware 22. If you're unfamiliar with Dyna-Cabs and you now install Firmware 22 and go to the cab block, you will see the selection between the legacy cabs, so essentially IRs that come bundled with the unit, and the new Dyna-Cab section, which lets you move a virtual mic around on a virtual speaker. There is a comprehensive selection of Dyna-Cabs with 4 different microphone choices on each of them. If you're using Axe Edit, you can move the little virtual mic around really easily like so. It's a pretty awesome feature. You've still got stuff like the room and air tab, the preamp tab, and you can go in and actually play around with the IR length still for these Dyna-Cabs. So what I figured would be nice would just be to hear some of these with some matching amplifiers that I personally like and a few effects in there. So there's quite a bit of depth in this preset if you go through the different channels on the blocks. Like the compressor has a few options in here. There are 4 different drive block options in here, which I think pair pretty well with all of these amps. Same thing with the reverb, the pitch, and the delay. So let's start off by hearing the 65 bass guy normal with the matching Dyna-Cab. I've gone with the ribbon mic selection. What I'll do here is I'll actually move it around and just kind of find the sweet spot on there just to demonstrate how easy it is to dial in these Dyna-Cabs. That's a classic combination for a reason. A bassman with a ribbon mic on it, it takes pedals really, really well. For example, kick in the clone Chiron on top of that. Next up, I have paired the Morgan AC20 model in here, the AC20 12AX7 treble, with the 2x12 Class A 30 watt and the Dynamic 2 microphone, and then the 2x12 Chiefman with a ribbon microphone. Blending different cabs and mics is really easy with the Dyna-Cabs because they are all phase aligned, so you don't have to worry about trying to adjust the alignment or anything. You just pop them in and you go. We'll hear each of these cabs with this combo, and then we'll hear the blend. chimey combination, and hitting it with that SDD preamp and the vintage digital delay cops the way people would use, say, like an AC30 combo together with a rack delay, drive the preamp a little bit and get those gorgeous rhythmic delays on there. Probably my favorite feature about Dyna-Cabs is the way auto impedance selection has been implemented in the amp block. First, I'll show you this plexi tone over here. This is my favorite plexi in here, the 50 watt 6CA7 jumped. I've paired it with the 4x12 1960 TV cab in here. If we go to the speaker tab of the amp block and you turn auto Dyna-Cab impedance on, you'll see that this will automatically select the matching impedance curve for the Dyna-Cab. So if I change back, say, to channel A on the Dyna-Cab, which was the bass guy, and then I come over here and look at the impedance that has been selected, it's now got the bass guy impedance. So that's just an extra layer of accuracy on there that I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate. For this one, you'll notice that I've got a dynamic and ribbon mic. I've just panned them slightly left and slightly right, just to give you this kind of like very subtle widening effect on there. But you know, plexis are going to do what plexis do, so it sounds like this. Next up, we have what might be my favorite clean amp and Dyna-Cab combo, the ODS 100 Clean with the EV12L Dyna-Cab. I've just selected the condenser mic. I haven't really dialed it in, so I might do that. Then I'm going to switch over from this London plate reverb to slightly more lush sounding reverb. So let's just get this condenser mic into where I like it, and then we'll add a reverb. Absolutely gorgeous and so easy to get dialed in there with the Dyna-Cabs. Next up, we got some chunky stuff on the second amp block. I've got the Brit 800 mod, and I've gone with a blend between the 4x12 Friedman with greenbacks and the same cab but the V30 speaker, a ribbon mic on the V30, dynamic 2 on the greenback speaker. I'm going to kick in some stereo pitch detune into this. This is Next up, this is a pretty bare bones, chunky high gain tone with plenty of sizzle in there. The 5153 100 watt blue. I've got the shred boost on in the amp block, and I've gone with the matching cab. Dynamic number one. This one is pretty angry sounding. We can contrast that with the USA Lead mid-gain, my personal favorite high-gain amp, with the blend between the 4x12 USA MC90 and a rumble IR on here. So the rumble is going to be very smooth and dark. The MC90 is a bit smoother than your typical kind of, you know, high-gain heavy metal speaker in there. This one is really nice for lead stuff, especially, say, with this dimension chorus and some of this delay in here. I've got the fat switch on the amp in the ideal section on as well. So it is pretty lush. And then finally, the new Rev models. There is the purple channel and the red channel modeled in here with the aggression switch in 3 different places. These have to be one of the best sounding high gain amps in the box now, and they're very easy to set up. I have paired them with the 4x12 Recto straight IRs, just a classic dynamic and ribbon blend. Let's hear this. Grab this preset and want to play around with it, I would highly recommend trying out some different matches between the amps and the cabs. So again, if we look at the speaker tab with the Rev generator, I've currently got the Dyna-Cabs set to the 4x12 Recto straight, but I mean, we could hear this with that Friedman Greenback V30 mix. Again, auto impedance to the rescue. It is set to the 4x12 Friedman impedance curve. I love that we're not only changing the virtual cab, we're changing the way the real amp would interact with the real cabinet. That behavior is modeled, which nothing else on the market does. So let's have a listen to a couple of different options between this Rev, and I'll just go through the different Dyna-Cab options that I've set up for these high gain amps. Put this preset up on Exchange for you all to try, because reading the release notes and listening to it on a video is one thing, actually playing it for yourself is another thing. I would say these make a pretty decent starting point for some amp and Dyna-Cab combinations, but as always, take the time, have some fun with this, play around with these, and dial in some sounds for yourself. It's never been easier to dial in your sound on the Axe effects. I love all the improvements to the overall realism in there. I've just been having fun making lots of guitar noises on this. Any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next Tuesday.